Bajrangbali ki jai. When Lord Hanumanji heard that this was his child, his son, he says, okay, since you are my child, you must show me respect. I'm your father. So now, like we say, you use out of convenience. Now that you are my son, tell me, where's Lord Rama and Lakshmana? I don't want to hear your whole story. Tell me, where is my Prabhu Rama and where's Lakshmana? He says, Hanumanji, Pitaji, Prabhu, just like you are performing your duty to save your Lord, my duty is to protect these doorways. And if I fail to do my duties, then Ahiravan and Mahiravan, they will destroy me. So Pitaji, please, I cannot tell you anything more than that. And he took up the gara. Hare, you want to feel one of this? You are my child and you are my son, as you've said. And there Makadwad says, if you want to enter, then we will have to fight. And if we fight, I will go easy on you, Lord Hanumanji. You are my father, but I will show you that even that which is born from your sweat, how strong and how powerful we can be. A battle is about to begin. The battle is about to ensue between Sri Hanumanji and his son Makadwaj. And right there and then, it is said, they both took their gada and they took their mukdar. And as they started to fight in front of the doorway, it is said, one blow after the other. They are fighting, my friends. They are hitting one another. Hanumanji will hit him one blow and then he will come and hit at the foot of Hanumanji, but he's not as powerful. So Hanumanji will say, is that what you call my son and my child? Is that all you've got? And Hanumanji raised the gada in the air and he was about to hit one last blow to destroy him. And then he said to himself, you know what? Maybe he will come in handy one day. He says, child, you're lucky that today you have said to me that you're my son. He put down the gada, he grabbed the mukdar of Makadwaj and he bound them together. And there he took him towards one pillar. And there he started to bend pieces and pieces of the pillar around him, saying, today you will not move. I do not want to destroy you. I will go easy on you. He bound him on the pillar, and while he was stuck there, he's asking again and again, please tell me, where is my Lord Prabhu? And there, because he was bound, he says, now I can speak, Prabhu. I will tell you where your Lord is. Tomorrow, as morning will dawn, as soon as the sun will rise, Ahiravan and Mahiravan, they will bring these two beings that we've heard about. And they will be taken to the altar of Mother Kali. And there they will be sacrificed and offered in worship to the Divine Mother. They will enter these doorways, and behind these doorways, not too far, is the mandir of Shibhadra Kalima. When Lord Hanumanji heard that, he says, okay, I will take my leave now. He wants to enter in such a way that nobody sees him. So despite he heard what and where his Lord will be, he stood beside one pillar and he waited. And while he's waiting, he saw some ladies on the side of the mandir. They were making malas. And he decided, I found the most appropriate way. Jai Shri Ram! He decided to now become minute and small, like the size of a mosquito. And there he went and he sat between one of the flower in the mala. I better check my mala, boy. And he sat between the mala and he waited there because he knew in order to not gather any attention, when the malas would be taken for worship, I will be able to enter without anybody noticing me. He sat there in the mala and he waited. And morning is coming. And while morning is coming near, he realizes that now the women who have made the malas, they are putting everything together and they are preparing now to go into the mandir. And while they've taken everything into the mandir, devotees, Lord Hanumanji has entered the mandir area. And while he's on the inside, scripture tells us at this time, he simply jumps out of the mala and he goes and he sees Mother Kali. And when he sees the mother, he puts his hands together and he says, Maya, only you can help us today. Ma, you are mother of the universe. You are mother of this entire cosmos. And while I will pray to you today, please guide me. Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadrakali Kapalani Durga Kshama Shiva Datri Swaha Swata Namostute. Om Dum Durgaya Namaha. Om Shibhadrakali Devi Mataya Namaha. Om Namo Shandikaya Namaha. And he prostrates and he jumps out of the mala and he goes behind the murti and he stands there and he's waiting now. And while he's waiting, everybody have left the mandir. And now Ahiravan and Mahiravan, they are bringing, my friends, they are bringing these two bodies. And with the two bodies, they are bringing them. Prabhu Ramachandra and Lakshmana, they are not there, but they have been casted a spell upon. So they can't open their eyes, they are bound. Lord Hanumanji sees them on the shoulders of two Rakshasas, and they would have been brought by the altar and they were just thrown in front of Mother Kali. Onto the side, they were thrown and they were pushed to the side. And now Ahiravan and Mahiravan, they've said to one another, everybody who's there, they're saying, bring the offerings of the fruits. Bring the offerings and let us offer it to the mother. And while they've brought the offerings, they're placing it in front of Mother Kali. And they're glorifying the mother. They're worshipping the goddess. And they're worshipping Devi Mata. Hanumanji plays a trick and he plays his role. When they place the offerings of fruits and they turn around to bring more, he grabs some of the fruits and he starts to partake behind the murti. When he starts to eat, when they turn back to put the tarya and the rest of the offerings, they realize, but wait a minute, Mother Kali, you today for the first time, you actually ate out everything so fast? Probably the mother is hungry. Everybody bring more and bring fast. And they're bringing as much as they can. And when they would put it and turn around and come again, it's gone. You see appetite? Hanumanji is eating and he's filling his tummy. And while he's eating, after they've brought all the offerings, they're beginning their worship. They pick up the lamps, the arati, and they're worshipping the mother like this. Om Kali Kali Mahakali Kali ke Parameshwari Sarvananda Kare Devi Narayani Namostute. Jai Devi Mahakali Re, Jai Devi Mahakali Re. In order to worship the Devi, they've brought their drums, they've brought their instruments. Hanumanji is only peeking to make sure that Prabhu Ram and Lakshmana, they're okay. But even at that point, he's looking at them, and this is how they will worship the mother. Bhadrakali Devi Mata ki Jai! Jai Devi Mahakali Re, Jai Devi Mahakali Re, Jai Devi Mahakali Re, Jai Devi Mahakali Re. Adi Shakti Ma Jagati Janani Ranachande Mahakali Re, Jai Devi Mahakali Re, Jai Devi Mahakali Re. Jai Ambe. ब्रह्मा विष्णु शिव स्वरूपिणी तू है माँ वरदायिनी रे, तू है माँ वरदायिनी रे. ब्रह्मा विष्णु शिव स्वरूपिणी तू है माँ वरदायिनी रे, तू है माँ वरदायिनी रे. ब्रह्मा विष्णु शिव स्वरूपिणी तू है माँ वरदायिनी रे. जय देवी महाकाली रे, जय देवी महाकाली रे, जय देवी महाकाली रे, जय देवी महाकाली रे. जय अम्बे माँ. मुंद माल कब्बर कर धारी ज्वालामुखी विकरालिनी रे, ज्वालामुखी विकरालिनी रे. मुंडमाल कप्पर करधारिणी ज्वालामुखी विकरालिनी रे, मुंडमाल कप्पर करधारिणी ज्वालामुखी विकरालिनी रे. जय देवी महाकाली रे, जय देवी महाकाली रे, जय अम्बे मां. दुःखहारिणी तो शुंभकारिणी मां शरणागत प्रतिपालिनी रे, शरणागत प्रतिपालिनी रे. दुःखहारिणी तो शुंभकारिणी मां शरणागत प्रतिपालिनी रे, शरणागत प्रतिपालिनी रे. दुःखहारिणी तो शुंभकारिणी मां शरणागत प्रतिपालिनी रे. जय देवी महाकाली रे, जय देवी महाकाली रे, जय देवी महाकाली रे, जय देवी महाकाली रे. अम्बे Hanumanji is saying that all the offerings have been placed. And while he has partook of it, they feel happy and they feel contented. And they say, Ma, now we will give you the greatest gift. Ravana, our father, has said that if we could give you the greatest gift, which is the incarnation of God on the earth, then anything that we want, you will grant us. We want power. We want strength. We want to become invincible. We want that the world will never be able to touch us. And then I ask a beautiful question. If God were to come before you and say, ask for what you want, what will you ask for? While many people will ask for things in the world that will not last forever, wealth, money, strength, power, what will you ask for? Think about it. Think about it, because who knows? Maybe tonight you might dream Him. Maybe a sign will come your way. Maybe God might speak back to you. What will you say if you're given the opportunity? Umapati Mahadeva ki Jai! At this time, friends, while Lord Hanumanji waits for the opportune moment, they have brought the body of Prabhu Ramachandra and Lakshmana. And having brought the bodies, he waits and he comes up with a plan. And this is the plan. As though he acted like Mother Kali, he shouted out, Ahiravan! Mahiravan! I am satisfied with the fruits that you have given to me. But at this time, as you have brought these bodies, I am even more satisfied. But in order for me to partake or to accept this offering, I want everybody to leave the mandir. Everybody leave. Shut the door for a few moments so that I can enjoy this offering. Lord Hanumanji, even then, he came up with his trick. And knowing that all the fruits had been taken off, they decided that they will leave. They allowed everybody to leave. They walked outside and they closed the door. And when they closed the door to the mandir, Hanumanji found the right moment. Jai Shri Ram! And he came out from behind the murti and he started to untie the Lord. And there, holding the Lord with his energy and his aura only, the Lord started to regain his consciousness, but little. Not too much, but little. And while he will regain his consciousness, it is at that point, Hanumanji, he is ready to take back the Lord. But before he will take back the Lord, with a little noise and a commotion that is taking place, Ahiravan and Mahiravan realizes now that they have been tricked. And being that they've been tricked, they've decided to open back the door. And when they open the door and they look at the Murti, who do they see? Lord Hanumanji is there. Prabhu Ramachandra, he could barely sit properly, but he is there. He's seeing Lakshmana and he says, today you will now feel my pain. You will now feel our anger and you will understand the strength of Ahiravan and Mahiravan. Hanumanji remembered the words that was uttered in his mind on that day. And what was the words, my friends? It was uttered on that day when he captured his son and his son whispered in the air and he says, Pitaji, I will tell you the secret. And the secret to destroy them lies in the 5 lights that are in front. A battle is about to begin, my friends. And while blow after blow from one end to the other, it is said Hanumanji is fighting. And there are 2 of them, Ahiravan, Mahiravan, one blow after the other, back and forth. And while they're fighting, he remembers now what he must do. So he stands there, he closes his eyes. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram. And at that point, our scripture tells us, the Lord starts to shine from within. It is said a light starts to emanate from within Lord Hanumanji. And from all the directions, bursting from the heart of Bajrangabali, that most powerful form, that supreme form of Mahaviri Swami, is none other than Panchmukha Hanumanji, in the form of Garuda, in the form of Narasimha, in the form of Hayagriv, in the form of Varaha, and in the form of Pavanaputra, bursting in all directions, my friends. And it is said, coming from the body of Lord Hanumanji, Panchmukha Hanumanji, heading in all the directions to destroy the light immediately. And as soon as the lights were out, immediately they will fall to the floor. And all the gods of the heavens, they will notice that mightiest form, powerful form of Bajrangabali. Pavana Sutta Hanuman ki, Bajrangabali ki. कबलों के हमरे कबरिया हो, कबलों के हमरे कबरिया हो, बजरंग बली, कबलों के हमरे कबरिया हो. जय श्री राम. Everybody बोले. कबलों के हमरे कबरिया हो, बजरंग बली, कबलों के हमरे कबरिया हो, बजरंग बली, 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 कबलों के हमरे कबरिया हो. कलियो के कपल बीचा न चोरे रामा बीचा न चोरे. कलियो के कपल बीचा न चोरे रामा बीचा न चोरे. पग 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 पाप की गटरिया हो, पग पग पाप की गटरिया हो, बजरंग बली, कबलों के हमरे कबरिया हो. जय श्री राम. राम नाम गन करहु कमाए प्रभु करहु कमाए. राम नाम गन करहु कमाए प्रभु करहु कमाई. भर मन के तिजोरिया हो, बजरंग बली, कबलों के हमरे कबरिया हो. बोलो सदा जयकार पवन सुत महाबली की, बोलो सदा जयकार पवन सुत महाबली की. जय श्री राम. केसरी नंदन बलधारी की, मारुति नंदन उपकारी की। केसरी नंदन बलधारी की, मारुति नंदन उपकारी की। आओ करे सेवा आज पवन सुत महाबली की। बोलो सदा जयकार पवन सुत महाबली की। हनुमान जी आरती। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमो नमः। ओम नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय। आरती की जय हनुमान लला की। दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ कला की। आरती की जय हनुमान लला की। दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ कला की। आरती की जय हनुमान लला की। दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ कला। जय श्री राम। जाके बल से गिरिवर कापे। रोग दोष जाके निकट न जाके। जाके बल से गिरिवर कापे। रोग दोष जाके निकट न जाके। अंजनी 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 पुत्र महाबलदाई। शांतन के प्रभु सदा सहाय। देवीरा देवीरा रघुनाथ पताये। लंका जारी सिया सुधिलाए। देवीरा रघुनाथ पताये। लंका जारी सिया सुधिलाए। लंका से लंका से लंका से भूत समुद्र से गाये। जात पवन सुत बारन लाई। ओम श्री हनुमते नमः। लक्ष्मण मूरचित परे सकारे। आनि संजीवन आनि संजीवन आनि संजीवन आनि संजीवन आनि संजीवन प्राण उबारे। लक्ष्मण मूरचित परे सकारे। आनि संजीवन प्राण उपारे। पैसी हो पैसी पता तोरे जमकारी। अहि रावण की भुजा उचारे। सुन नर मुनि आरती उतारे जय 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 हनुमान उतारे सुन नर मुनि आरती उतारे जय 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 हनुमान उतारे कंचन 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 तारक पुरलाई आरती करत अंजना माई जय श्री राम जय 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 हनुमान 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 बजरंग बली की जय। आसनी जी सब लोग मेरे साथ टेक आवर सीट्स। As we begin this beautiful night once more, another golden night in devotion to the Divine Lord in the form of Lord Hanumanji, Pavana Putra, Mahavir Swami. On behalf of the members of this wonderful home, we take this golden opportunity to say Swagatam, Namaskar, a cordial welcome to each and every one. As we begin this night once more in dedication to the Divine Lord, to the members of the Celestial Gandharvas, we welcome each and every one of them who have come together to once more bring forth their energy, their devotion through the medium of music to elevate our hearts in the messages of our Lord. To all those who are here tonight, special welcome, Swagatam, Namaskar. To all those who are tuned in tonight via 103.1 FM, Facebook. To all those who are tuned in once more, my Facebook page. To all those who are locked on via Sankhya television, once more we say Aapko Swagatam. And to all those who are tuned in via YouTube, a cordial welcome on this beautiful night. At this time, without further ado, let us cleanse our mind as we forget the world. We focus at the feet of Mahavir Swami and we begin with our Omkar, our beautiful mantra of invocation. वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देवा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती नमोस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा या देवी सर्वभूतेषु दुर्गारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु लक्ष्मीरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु सरस्वती रूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः चरण शरण में आई के हर तिहार कष्टों से रक्षा करो कष्टों से रक्षा करो पवन पुत्र हनुमान हाथ जोड़ विनती करो सुनो वीर हनुमान संकट से रक्षा करो संकट से रक्षा करो हे अंजन के लाल पवन पुत्र हनुमान पवन पुत्र हनुमान श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधार वर्णो रघुवर विमल जसु जोदायक फलचारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिराओ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरौ कलेश विकार सुख करता जय जय हनुमंता दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता whenever his name is called and wherever it is called, no matter where you are in this world, when you chant the name of Bajrangabali, when you chant the name of Shri Hanuman, all negativities disappear from our lives, from our path, and disappears from around us. As we pray for success, we join all together. जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीश लोक उजागर रामदूत तुलक बलधामा अंजन पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर महावीर विक्रम बजरंग सुमति निवार सुमति के संगे कचन वरन विराज सुवेशा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजय कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन विज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया मंगल भवना मंगलहारी नभौ सुदशरथ अजर विहारी दुख करता जय जय हनुमंता दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता दुख करता जय जय हनुमंता दुख हरता जय 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 श्री राम. All glories to Mahavir Swami on this beautiful night. सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारी रामचंद्र के काज सवारी लाए सजीवन लखन जियाय श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई सहस बस बदन तुम रोज गावे, अस गए श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सर्गाधिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीषा, नारद शारद सहित ईसा, ब्रह्म कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते, कवि कोविद कई सके कहाते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीव कीन, राम मिलाय राज पर दीना। मंगल भवन मंगलहारी, प्रभु सुदशरथ अजर विहारी। दुख करता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंत। दुख करता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख हरता। तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जान। युग सहस्र योजन पर भानु, लील्युताहि मधुर फल जानु। प्रभो मुद्रिका मिलि मुख माहि, जल दिलांगी गए अचर जनाई। दुर्गम का जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते। राम द्वारे तुम रखवारे, होतन आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुकल है तुम्हारे शरणा, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपण तेज समारो आपै, तीनों लोक हांक दे कापै। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। मंगल भवन मंगलहारी, द्रवौ सुदशरथ अजर विहारी। सुख करता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख करता जय जय हनुमंता। सुख करता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख करता। एवरीबॉडी बोलिए जय बजरंग बली। नास रोग हरै सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै, मर्गम वचन ध्यान जो लावै। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै। चारों युग परताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नवनिधि के दाता, सबर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। मंगल भवन मंगलहारी, प्रभु सुदशरथ अजर विहारी। सुख करता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता। सुख करता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख हरता जय। जय श्री राम। ओम श्री हनुमते नमः। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म की दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाय। और देवता चित्त न धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, दुष्मिर हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई। कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाथ, दोषत बार पात कर कोई। दुदई बंदे महासुत होय, जो यहाँ पर हनुमान चालीसा होय। सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा, प्रसिदा सदा हरि तेरा। की जयनाथ हृदय महाधीरा, मंगल भवन मंगलहारी। तव सुदशरथ चर विहार सुख करता जय जय हनुमंता दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंत सुख करता जय जय हनुमंता दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता सुख करता जय जय हनुमंत दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता सुख करता जय जय हनुमंता दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता सुख करता जय जय हनुमंता दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता सुख करता जय जय हनुमंता दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता पवन तनय संकट हरण मंगल मूर्ति राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुरभु पवन सुधा हनुमान की जय बजरंगबली की जय. On this beautiful night, my friends, we are about to join once more in the golden pages of our holy text. We are about to listen to the Katha of Lord Hanumanji taken from the golden pages of the Sri Hanuman Ank as well as the Sri Hanuman Charitramanas. And while we listen to these wonderful pages of positivity, it is said Lord Hanumanji narrates everything that takes place in his life. And at this time, in our scripture, in our Katha, to all those who have been following me for all the night so far, then you will know that tonight, Ravana, he stands in Lanka. He has tried with all his might to destroy Prabhu Rama, Lakshmana, Hanumanji, Sugriv, Jamwant, Angad, Nal, Neel, an entire army in which Prabhu Ramachandra had put together to destroy Ravana. Ravana is fighting back. And he doesn't realize that all he had to do was to give back Sita Devi. He doesn't acknowledge that sometimes all it takes is doing the right thing for things to work out. And when sometimes we stumble upon an incident or a situation and things are not going the way we want it to go, maybe something needs to be adjusted. Not that it is wrong, but maybe adjusted in some little way or the other to create the success, the happiness and the joy that we expect and we want. Today, Ravana, in our message, for all the nights so far, he has sent all his warriors on the battlefield. He has sent his best ministers. He has sent his sons. He has sent his brothers. And at this point, even then, with everybody who has been destroyed, his wife stands up next to him and says, Ravana, why don't you just give back Sita Devi? Why don't you just calm down the entire situation by being humble? Sometimes all it takes is to be humble for things in life to work out. Sometimes all it takes is a moment of simplicity in our thoughts and humility in our hearts to say, you know what, let things be. Allow it to be by God's grace. And when you just let it flow and say, God, everything in your hands, everything works out fine. Lord Hanumanji last night, he saved Prabhu Ramachandra from Ahiravan and Mahiravan. And he brought him back to the battlefield. And now Ravana, on top of his kingdom, he is overlooking and he's seeing Prabhu Ram is still alive, Lakshmana is still alive. He have shot arrows at them. He's sent his warriors. He's sent everybody. And yet they are standing strong. The entire army is standing strong because they are standing next to God. In life, the world will fight you, not so? What do you have to do? Stand with God on your side. That is all. The entire army stands there, and even though they have been or tried to be killed at many instances, even when Hanumanji brought the Sanjeevani, all of them came back to life only because of the energy of the atmosphere to the scent of the Sanjeevani. Today, Ravana, he's confused now. He's panicking now. He has reached a state of mind where he doesn't know what to do, but he will never give up. Sometimes we need to know when to stand up and say, you know what, I give up. Some people wish they can hold on, or some people try to hold on to everything in the world. You're fighting for house, you're fighting for land, you're fighting for wealth, and you hold on to it so much till you say, you know what, don't worry, I will hold on till I die if I have to. And sometimes the key to happiness is just letting go. Tonight, while we worship Lord Hanumanji, Ravana paces up and down, and in order to find out what to do, today, Lord Hanumanji has saved Prabhu Rama. He is the incarnation of Lord Shankar Bolinath, and we glorify Sri Mahadev. नमो 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 शिव शंकरा परमेश्वरा शशिशेखराय नमो शिव शंकरा परमेश्वरा शशिशेखराय नमो शिव शंकरा परमेश्वरा शशिशेखराय नमो Everybody bolo हर हर महादेव हर 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 महादेवाय हर हर ओ हर 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 महादेवाय हर शिव 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 सदा शिवाय शिव 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 सदा शिवाय हर 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 महादेवाय हर 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 महादेवाय शिव 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 सदा शिवाय शिव 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 सदा शिवाय शिव शंकरा ईश्वरा शशिशेखराय नमः एवरीबॉडी बोले हर हर महादेव Everybody बोले ओम नमः शिवाय जय भोलेनाथ हर 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 महादेवाय हर 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 महादेवाय शिव 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 सदा शिवाय शिव 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 सदा शिवाय हर 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 महादेवाय हर 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 महादेवाय शिव 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 सदा शिवाय शिव 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 सदा शिवाय शंकरा परमेश्वरा शशिशेखराय नमः शिव शंकरा परमेश्वरा शशिशेखराय नमः अरे बम बम बोला शिव शंकरा परमेश्वरा शशिशेखराय नमः शशिशेखराय नमः शशिशेखराय नमः शशिशेखराय नमः 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 all together शिव शंकरा परमेश्वरा Shashishekharaya. By yourselves loudly as you create the beautiful energy, not just in this home, but in the homes of all the devotees who are tuned in tonight, or wherever you are, taking this moment to once more touch the feet of Lord Hanumanji alongside us. Take this moment together. Everybody. Shiva Shankara Parameshwara Shashishekharaya Namo. एक बार और. शिव शंकर परमेश्वरा शशिशेखराय नमः. गजानन स्वामी की जय. Ravana is pacing his palace. He's walking up and down. Have you ever found yourself walking up and down? Me? All the time. Sometimes you get a call and you want to answer the call, but you have so much on your mind, so you don't want to sit down. You need to get now with it. So you answer the call and you're talking to that person, but your mind is concentrating elsewhere. I need to do this when I'm finished. I need to do that. So they call you and you're just walking up and down. You don't realize it until somebody on your phone probably says, hey, are you moving? Are you walking? I could hear you. I could hear you breathing. Or unless if they look at you and you're looking on a screen on a video call, they can see you walking up and they could see the ceiling back and forth. Hey, where are you going so? Oh, I'm walking back and forth, until I finish that conversation. Ravana is pacing back and forth because he has a lot on his mind. He's moving up and down. What to do next? And while he's walking, as I've always mentioned to every devotee in the world, when you have a problem in life, no matter what the situation is, you turn to your Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Friends, he kept walking up and down and to wonder in his mind what to do next. I've tried everything possible. Have you in your life sometimes realized you reach a point where you're probably trying to work out something? We are in this beautiful home. I am sure sometimes you walk up and down and say, okay, we need to get this done, we need to get that done. How to get it done? What to do next? What should I do? What to think of? Who to turn to? Who to ask? How to do it? Not so? All the questions come. How do I get it done? In life, sometimes we question. Ravana is walking up and down in his palace. I need to destroy Ram and Lakshmana Prabhu. How to do it? And he doesn't think for a second that from the very beginning, what he should have done was turn to his Guru. The Gurus are the preceptors. They have come in our lives to guide us and to help us and to motivate us and to inspire us. And sometimes even though we may not get a chance to even speak to them, just being in the company of them brings the answers. Just being in the aura, the energy of the atmosphere, the said spot that they walk, or the said energy that they are in, creates the answers. It is like the example when Narada had asked the question, the power of prayer, devotion and satsang, and every Kritya he had reached. I'm sure many people would have heard that little kahani. But for every Kritya that he had approached, they died by simply just looking at him. And he was asking, what do I do that when people look at me, they die? When an animal looks at me, they die. When Prabhu Vishnu said, because of the aura that you have, when the lesser animals or the lesser creatures see you, they die because automatically they are stepping up the chain of the kingdoms of life. So they die and they move on, and they die and they move on, and they're stepping up. Every time you come in contact with the holy ones, you are stepping up your energy. You are motivating yourself in a way that you don't even know. But good things happen, my friends. Today, Ravana has become so confused that he decides now to turn to his Guru. He goes to his astrologer and he says to the astrologer, I want you to read my stars. Please, I don't know what to do anymore. And the astrologer looks into his hands. He looks at his face and he says, Ravana, 2 more days I see this war going for. 2 more days and this war will complete. And he says, well, tell me, will I be victorious? And there the astrologer says, I am not too sure, Ravana. I cannot see a point further than what I see in your hand. I cannot see that. Let me see deeper. Do you know many people in today's world do not believe in astrology? Do you know many people do not believe in astrological signs? Do you know many people do not believe in reading their stars or their patras, we would say, or opening that book to see what is happening in their life? And while many people don't, they live their lives in such a way at some point when the problems reach, as we say, hit rock. And you don't know what to do. Then you open up the mind, well, let me see now, if you could open something, let me see what will happen. But it is understood that we live in a world that is surrounded by the solar system. In the solar system, we have the sun and we have the planets. And while we are on planet Earth, on the Earth itself, if the moon comes closer to the Earth, we get tidal waves, volcanic eruptions. It affects the Earth. As much as the moon affects the Earth, think about this now. Have you ever heard the older people look at you and say, hey, but how he moody so why? He walking by the moon or what? Have you ever heard that? He operating by the moon or what? How is he so moody? It is a true saying that the ancestors and the older folks, they would always acknowledge that when the moon phases change, people act up. And it was real. Astrology says the same thing. Only that we would have believed that the moon alone gives an effect, because when the phases of the moon change, we act up or we become more calm. Whereas the entire solar system that has all the planets, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, named in our Hindu astrological charts, Buddha, Brihaspati, Shukra, Shanidev, only named in the Hindu names astrologically, even they give an effect to us on the earth. While the moon can affect the earth with tidal waves and volcanic eruptions, while the moon can affect the mind of an individual, even the not so far away planets can also affect us. And every time they make a pass by our birth stars, they connect with us. They either bring something good or they bring something bad. And only when the Guru checks it in your stars and in his charts, then he can tell you, hey, you're going through a grah. You're going through planetary something. Something is wrong. And when you know what is wrong, then you know how to fix it. When you know what is the issue, then you can tell how to fix it. Friends and bhaktas, Ravana has gone to his astrologer. To those who don't know, Ravana's lineage came down from the lineage of the Mayans. Do you know who's the Mayans? I give you some homework. Check the Mayans. The greatest astrologers of the earth. His lineage stems from the Mayans, and then further when Ravana departed, even his generation, they were of the best astrologers in the world. They knew the best astrology. I had mentioned in one of my recent satsang and yajna that when you go to different parts of India, for example, I remember in Jaipur, you will walk into a place where you will see, while walking on the ground, you will see a piece of something. Maybe you will see a piece of rock just sticking out like this. From the earth, it's just sticking sideways like this. And you might walk beside it and say, oh God, take this thing fall, boy. But then the people who are around and the instructors who are around, they will walk and tell you, that won't just fall, that was made like that for a purpose. You wait and you stand there for about an hour, 2 hours, and look at the sun shining at the peak of it. And while the sun moves, wherever the sun will shine and hit on the floor, look, there are markings now. And then you'd say, but wait a minute, I didn't see the ground right up to. And there are markings and there are everything to every millimeter to tell you what day it is, what hour it is, what month it is, what is happening in the world. You will see different horoscopes are drawn out, and it will show which horoscopes are passing in the day. While in Western world, we think that from one particular month to another particular month, we are ruled by certain horoscopes. For example, in the middle of December to the middle of January, you have which Rasi? Capricorn, right? And then you go from there for another 1 month, you have Aries. And you have another month after that, and you have Taurus. And so on, and you keep going. While we know that every month is ruled in the Western world by a horoscope, astrology is different. When you go to these holy places of astrology and you look down and you see these devotees who are around, they are informing you as to what the architectures are all about. You stand there for over 2 hours and they'll show you according to how the sun moves. Every 2 hours a horoscope changes. Every 2 hours, our horoscope changes. Then you'll realize that when you go to pundits who know the astrology and you're about to do a reading, you know in your life and in the Western world you have been born as a Taurus. But then the pundits say, but you look like a Scorpio. And he said, what happened to that pundit, boy? He don't know what he's saying or what. But that is because in the day that you were born, at the particular hour, it was broken separately. It was broken in such a point where at that hour, a different horoscope was ruling. In the Western world, it is about the months. In astrology, it is about the hours and the time and the minute that goes by. That is why when someone is born, I always say, remember when a child is born, the time of birth is important. Because 1 minute off can make that child be of a different horoscope, either back or either front. Think about it. If every 2 hours a horoscope is moving, and 1 minute off is given, he could be in a different horoscope, either or. And that determines your whole life. So today in our scriptures, Ravana has gone to find out. And while he's finding out, the astrologer says, Ravana, I realize by looking into the palm of your hands that you might lose this war. He said, me? Ravana, lose war? No. I'm not going to lose this war. Tell me more. Tell me I will win this war. And he's looking. In what way do we read our stars? By our time of birth. By our hands. When a child is born, on his 6th day and on the 12th day, we have Havan Puja. We bathe the child with holy waters. And we decide at that point in time that we will cleanse the home and cleanse the baby, because on the night of the 6th day and the 12th day, angels and devatas are coming to write the destiny in the hand of the child, beneath the feet of the child, and on the face of the child. So there are people who could look at you and start to read you out. There are people who need to look into your hands and read you out. There are some who can say, let me see under your feet, and they can read you out. Astrology is vast, my friends. The world and the science of the world is vast, more than what we can ever think about. Well, my dear bhaktas, as we take this opportunity, Ravana, he is by his astrologer, and while he's finding out what to do and what not to do, Prabhu Ramachandra, alongside Lord Hanumanji and all the army men, the bandars, the bears, the monkeys, they are worshipping the Lord and they are preparing for another day of their war. Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Shri Ram. All together. Shri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajo Mana Harana Bhavarunam Navakanja Lochana Kanja Mukkakad Kanja Parakanjadunam Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Shri Ram. Kandarpa aganita amita chabinava nila nirada sundaram patapeta mana utaru tiruchi suchi nami janaka sutavaram Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Shri Ram. Jai Shri Ram. Bhaju dina bandhu didesha danava Daitya vanchani kandanam रघुनंद आनंद कंद कौशल चंद दशरथ नंदनम श्री राम राम श्री राम राम। सिर मुकुट कुंडल तिलक चार उदार अंग विभूषणम आजानुभुज सरतापदर संग्राम जित धर दूषणम श्री राम राम श्री राम श्री राम। Prabhu Ramachandra, he's standing alongside his army and he makes sure, he will walk around and will make sure that all the monkeys and the bears, they're okay. He says very soon this war will come to the end. And he walks around by all of them and he's ensuring that they're okay. He's speaking to them. He's asking them. He's showing his love and his care. When we live in a home, when we live amongst our family members, we must care for everybody. Sometimes people walk in and just walk out and who cares? But we must learn to care. We must learn sometimes to approach our loved ones and say, are you okay? We must learn to show that affection. Walk up to your mother one day and say, Ma, is everything all right? Walk up to your spouse, your husband, your wife and say, hey, are you okay? Sometimes it is good just to sit down with your brother or your sister and simply say, hey, is everything all right? Sometimes people are waiting for somebody just to talk to. Do you know that? Sometimes there are people going through so many things in the world and all we want is somebody just to listen. Sometimes we don't want anybody to say anything, you know. We just want somebody to be there to listen. There are millions of people in the world who wish to express their heart. Maybe joy, maybe sorrows, maybe pain, maybe happiness. And there's nobody to give them that air to listen. Sometimes it will help in a home and in a family just to simply listen to the words of the people around you. While Prabhu Ram is listening to all the monkeys and the bears single, he's listening to them. They're speaking out. Some are talking about the pains that they're having after the war. Some are excited for winning the war. Some are asking, Prabhu, are you sure? But at the same time, the Lord gives everybody the attention that they need. And they are going along with it. And while Prabhu is about to wait, the morning will dawn soon. Ravana, he's speaking now to the Guru. And the Guru says, I don't know what else to say. But all I could say is, Ravana, your days are numbered. इति वदति तुलसीदास शंकर शेषमुनिमनरञ्जनं मम हृदय कञ्जनिवास कुरु कामादि कलदलगञ्जनं श्रीराम राम श्रीराम हनुमान श्रीराम। All together, Shri Ram, Shri Ram, बोलिए Shri Ram, Shri Ram। वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय। Ravana speaks to the Guru and the Guru says, Ravana, let me be honest with you. When I look into the palm of your hands, when I look into your stars, you have 2 more days for this war, and after that you are going to die. If you know that you have 2 days to live, what will you do? Jai Bhagwan. If you know you have 2 days to live, what will you do? Eat, drink, marry. What will you do? How does the saying goes? Eat, drink, marry, and when dead? People live day to day. How the day comes, that's how we will live. Eat, drink, marry, and when we die, we bury. Simple. Nobody plans. When I die, what will I do? If I were to die and if I know in 2 days I will die, what will I do? How will you plan? How many millions or rather thousands of people in the world died with the pandemic, and after just a day of just knowing that they have tested positive, in no time their days were numbered. How many people knowing in their life after a crisis, after a situation, after maybe cancer, after maybe a tumor, after maybe a stroke, after maybe some form of illness or sickness, they know mentally, my days are coming down. What would you do if you knew that you had 2 days to live? Pray, ask for help, find a way out, see what you can do. What will you do? Ravana said, I have 2 days to live. I am Ravana, Mel and Keshu. I am not going to die. If the planets will decide my fate, I will decide their fate first. So he jumped on his chariot and he decided to go up into the skies. And when he went up into the cosmos, he saw the planets creating the alignment. And it is said when they would form the correct alignment, Ravana is supposed to die. So he sees them coming to the alignment. And he says, no, no, no. I am Ravana. Nobody will decide my fate. I will decide my fate. Nobody will be able to determine how long I live for, what I do, or how long I will be on the earth for. But I am Ravana. And I will decide on my own what my destiny has to bring for me. He goes into the skies. Mailankeshu. And he looks at the planets, and there he goes to each of the planets one by one, and with every planet that he went to, he decided to capture the gods of the planets. He captured Shanidev, he captured Rahu, he captured Brihaspati, Buddh Devata, Mangal Devata, Chandrama Devata, and gathering all the Navgrahas together, he chained them up together, and he decided now to bring them back down to the earth. Shivrindavan Bihari Lala Ki Jai. Ravana decides his own fate. Do you have the ability to decide your fate? Your destiny? Do you think so? How many people here think that you can create your own destiny? It says when you were born, your destiny was written. Before you took birth, Prabhu decided to show you the world in which you will come in. And he says, before you entered any womb of any mother, he says, due to the level of karma you have created in your past life, this is what will happen. You will be born in either this home, that home, or this one. Make your choice. Those are the choices. Because according to the level of karma that you have to pay for, or how you have to live now due to what you did in your past, if you live in this one, that one, or even that one, this is how you will now carry through with your life. If you go through this one, this will happen to you along the future. This is how you will die, he shows you. If you follow this one, you will live like this, you'll become like that, one day you'll die like that, and he shows you everything. And he shows you the different parts. And before even entering a womb, we make a choice. And we say, God, I want to choose this one. I want this person to be my mother. I want this person to be my father. I want him to be my brother. I want this one to be my sister. And yes, I agree. I will go through this, and this is how I will get sick, and this is how I will die, and this is what will happen to me, and I will come back. But at that point, knowing what will happen, Lord, don't worry, I promise I will live better than that. I will change this when I go there. I will change that when I go there. And when I die and I come back, no more karma. And we say, Lord, don't worry, I promise you this is how I will do it. And we decide to choose our parents. I always tell people and children, when you get angry and you look at mommy and say, I hate you, don't say that. Because before you were born, you said to God, I want her to be my mother. I want him to be my father. I am choosing this person because I love this person, how they're living their life and how they have been through their life. And I want this person to be my mother, and I want that person to be my father. So not when you come on the earth and you get vexed, you say, I hate you. Love them nonetheless. You chose them before you came into the world. You chose how your life would be. So in life, when things are not going the way you want it to go, when you have your ups and your downs and your not so good moments, it is because you've chosen this path and your destiny flows alongside. But how can you make better of it? Hold on to God, because with God on your side, He can change, He can alter the destiny. It is only by praying harder, praying more, doing your devotion, we can elevate and we can become better. Today, Bhaktas, while in our scripture, Ravana goes and he captures all the 9 planets. He chains them up and he brings them back down to Lanka. And when he goes down to Lanka, he will hide them now. Where will he hide them? He doesn't want anybody to see them. So where will he hide them? It is said, as a king of Lanka, he always had a secret escape plan. When people build in a house, sometimes they look for a little secret corner. You all have one here? Don't tell me. They look for a little secret corner. If something happened and we need to run out fast, you pass here and you go there and you could find a way out. Not so? Everybody has a little plan somewhere or the other. Ravana had a plan. His palace was built in such a way, if there were to be any form of destruction to Lanka, as the king, he could save himself. He could go behind his palace and there will be a hole in the ground that was covered with trees and so on. He could move it. He could go in an underground tunnel and he could come out far away. And nobody will even know. They will see the whole palace burn down and they will think he died, but he will escape and he will go and survive. See? The only people who know of that or knew of that was Ravana and his brothers, Kumkaran, Vibhishan. Ravana decided now nobody knows about it. So if I take these 9 planets, lock them up, put them down there, and nobody knows about it, nobody can find them, nobody can set them free. And if nobody can set them free, that means they can't align and I can't die. You see how smart he was? So Ravana captured 9 planets, he took them down there. He placed them in a jail cell beneath in the tunnel. And he decides now that at this point, I will go back to the top now. And while Ram and Lakshmana are preparing for war, I will do a fast. I will do a sacrifice. And I will worship the Divine Mother. In the time that was taking place, it was the period in which, at this time he says, I will worship Adi Shakti. I will worship Parashakti Maya. I will give her the best of offerings, gather all the holy ones, and I will do prayer. And when I do prayer, we will accomplish our goals. So Ravana set up for the puja and he set up for the worship. And while he's gathering everybody all together, at that point he starts his little havan. And smoke is coming out of the mandir of Ravana. And while smoke is coming out, in the heavens, the divine Lord Bhagavan Vishnu, he's looking down and he's seeing what is taking place. He's speaking with his consort, Prabhu Shankar Bholenath. He's speaking to Parvati Maya. And while they're speaking, listen. Parvati Mata says, I will have to bless him if he satisfies me. But I hope somebody can stop him before he does. Jai Jai Ma Devi Ma Jai Ma Durga Ma. All together. Jai Jai Ma Devi Ma Jai Ma Durga Ma. Now everybody together. Tum hi ho Mata, Pita tum hi ho Bandhu, Sakha tum hi ho Ma. Jai Jai Ma Devi Ma Jai Ma Durga Ma. Jai Jai Ma Devi Ma Jai Ma Durga Ma. तुम ही हो साथी, तुम ही सहारे, कोई ना अपना सेवा तुम्हारी माँ। तुम ही हो साथी, तुम ही सहारे, कोई ना अपना सेवा तुम्हारी माँ। तुम ही हो नैया, तुम ही केवैया, तुम ही हो नैया, तुम ही केवैया, तुम ही हो बंधु सखा, तुम ही हो माँ। जय जय माँ देवी माँ, जय माँ दुर्गा माँ। एवरीबॉडी बोलिए जय अम्बे। जो किल सके ना वो बोला हम हैं, तुम्हारी चरणों के दूल हम हैं माँ। जो किल सकेला वो बोला हम हैं, तुम्हारी चरणों के दूल हम हैं माँ। दया की दृष्टि सदा के रखना, दया के दृष्टि सदा के रखना, तुम ही हो बंधु सखा, तुम ही हो माँ। जय जय माँ देवी माँ, जय माँ अम्बा माँ, जय जय माँ देवी माँ, जय माँ दुर्गा माँ। बोलिए जय जय माँ देवी माँ, जय माँ दुर्गा माँ। तुम ही हो माता पिता, तुम ही हो बंधु सखा, तुम ही हो माँ। वृंदावन में हरिलाल की जय। Ravana decides that he will go in his mandir and he will do Havan Puja. He will worship the divine goddess Shri Durga Bhavani Mata and he will worship Shri Bhadra Kali Mata. And he starts the Havan. And while Prabhu Ram and Vibhishan and Lakshmana, they are preparing themselves for another day, all of a sudden, Vibhishan sees on a distance, he sees smoke coming out from a different direction of Lanka, and he says, but wait a minute. But that direction in which the smoke is coming, I think there's the mandir there. He says, Rama Prabhu, Lakshmana, dekho na, look, Ravana is doing something. Something is wrong with that. Because when Ravana is ready to fight a war, he don't pray. He would have prayed before. But something is wrong. Somebody needs to check out this. Somebody needs to see something is not right here. Something is going wrong. And who would they ask? Jai, Jai, Jai Hanuman Gosine, Kripa Karau Gurudev ki nayi. It says, और देवता चितन धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई, संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरै हनुमत बलवीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई, जो शत बार पात कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई। जो यहाँ पर हनुमान चालीसा, होए सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय महादेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय महादेरा। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। Who will they send? Lord Hanumanji. Pawan Putra, it is only you who can surpass all the guards, and you can reach that spot, and you can see what is happening. So Hanumanji says, that is not a problem. Gada in the air, Jai Shri Ram, and he's ready to make his leap. But you know what? Before he could even move, Lakshmana holds him. Vibhishan holds him and he says, wait. If you make a leap into the sky, right now the army men and the army of Ravana, they are standing guard. If they see you in the sky, they might try to hit you down. Vibhishan comes up with a plan on his own and he says, listen, I will tell you something. Nobody knows of this. He says, Hanumanji, do not make that leap and go to Lanka like this. I am telling you, go behind Lanka and go to this spot. And you will find a tree over there. And after the tree, you make a few steps this way. And he's directing him. And he says, when you reach that point, move the bushes that are there. And you will see a hole that is dug. You pass beneath there. And nobody knew of this. But you will come out at the back of the palace of Lanka. Hanumanji, he says, really? Well, then I will go and I will take this path. So Hanumanji, Jai Shri Ram. And he goes to the spot in which he's been instructed. And he goes down to the tunnel. And he's going beneath the tunnel. And who will he see down there? When he reaches halfway into the tunnel, he sees now this jail cell. And who is inside? He doesn't know. But there are 9 people locked up inside there. Listen. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Jai 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 Hanuman Gosai. Bole Jai 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 Hanuman Gosai. He follows the instructions of Vibhishan. He goes to that spot and he sees a hole on the earth and he goes down into the tunnel. And who does he see? 9 people locked up in a jail cell. Who are they? He doesn't know. So he decides now, while passing them, he decides to stop and ask, who are you? Who are you all and what are you doing here? And being that they've been locked up, they started speaking to Hanuman Baba. What are they saying? Are bhaiya, where are you going? Nobody has passed here for hours. Please, can you help us? Please let us free. Set us free. We are the Nau Graha Devatas. We have been locked up by Ravana. Can you please set us free? And there he looks at them and he says in his mind, I am Lord Hanumanji. A bhakta of God is a compassionate person. Don't worry, I will set you free. A devotee of God never inflicts pain upon the life of people, but they ease pains from people's life. Some people claim to say Listen, some people claim to say that we pray so much, we love God so much, we're a devotee of God, we love to pray. A true devotee of God doesn't look at people in pain and suffering and leave them there. A true devotee helps. Baba Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai said to the world, the hands that serve are greater than the hands that pray. It is said a devotee of God will not see people down and out and leave them there, but they will give a helping hand. They will give a motivated word. They will give an inspirational word, something to uplift or to help, whether it's mentally or physically or help somebody. They will take part in lifting the souls or the hearts of people, not put them down. If you're a devotee, you don't make people cry. You don't make people hurt. You don't make people sulk. You don't put depression into people's life. But if you're a true devotee, wherever you walk, you make people smile. You make people laugh. You make people feel nice. You make people feel motivated, because that is the God within you, in the aura that is around you, shining everywhere that you go. It is the positiveness of an individual that wherever you go, no matter what happens in the world, no matter if your life is upside down, with the aura of God that you walk with, you make people happy. That is natural. It takes no effort. Have you ever heard some people say, I trying so hard to make you happy and I can't do it? Have you ever heard people say that? You do not need to try or to try hard to make things happen or to make people happy. It should be no effort. If you are a spark of God and you have acknowledged that, with no effort, wherever you go, you make people happy, my friends. Hanumanji, with that strength that he has, he breaks the lock and he opens the doorway of the jail cell. And he starts to walk away. And while walking away now, he hears somebody call him back, Are, Bandar. And he turns around. And he says, Kya? Wo kaun hai? And there he sees Shani Dev. And Shani Dev says, Are Bandar, wapas na, aao, come back, return to us. And when Hanumanji returns for a moment, Shani Dev is telling his brothers at that point, listen, we know that the people of the human race, they are divine people. But this monkey form person, it is only the Rakshasas who have a form that is different to the world. Suppose he is of the crew of Ravana, he's heading in that direction. Suppose he goes back and he tells Ravana that he set us free, Ravana will come back for us. So until we destroy Ravana, let us deal with him right now. Let us destroy this Hanumanji right now. Jai Bhagwan. They have a saying, as much as we try to help, they have a saying, that sometimes no matter how much you try to help certain people, if by nature, their nature is to be bad, they will always be bad. If by nature, it's the nature of some people to just never like you, you could bring the moon and back. They will never like you. That is how the world works. We live in a world where you cannot change the mind of anybody in the world to suit yours. You cannot make people love you or like you for who you are, but you can only do your best. And who likes you, likes you. Who is there in your path to be in your life, to love you for who you are, they will be there. And it will be an effortless motion for them to be alongside you. You can never force people to love you. You can never force people to stand with you. You can never force people to be with you thick and thin. But once there's communication, energy, they will be there throughout. Today when I say this, I'm sure many people might think of it in their own life in so many ways, with a little story or with something that might happen in their life, maybe with their brother or sister or family member. But when I say it, while just looking on, I see the members of my group. Through thick and thin, and years have passed. And many people have come and say, you know what, I'm going to take your keyboard man for you. I'm going to take your drummer from you. I'm going to take this one from you. But you know what? With good understanding, with good communication, with goodness of heart, when you work together, what is to be will happen. What has to be will be. When people have to stand by you no matter what, and they stand with a pure heart, it is an effortless motion where it just works out. You cannot change the mind of the world. Today in our scripture, my friends, while Lord Hanumanji is standing there, he says, why would you be ungrateful? I just saved all of you and you're talking or creating a conspiracy against me? And then Shanidev says, Rahu, come. You're my partner. Come, let's deal with him. Don't let go back and talk. Let's deal with him. Hare Ketu, come. Shani, Rahu, Ketu, they are the worst of the grahas and they work together. And even though you do graha pujas and Shani graha pujas and Rahu and Ketu, sometimes you hear after a few years they come back to give you trouble again. Because that is their nature, to create trouble in the life of many people. So what is happening? The three of them stand up and they want to fight Lord Hanuman. And while they want to fight, while the three brothers are about to fight, the other six will then look on and say, well, if they are trying to fight for the cause of us, why not help on? Why not try to work with them? So the 9 of them now, they've now been saved by Lord Hanumanji. And now they're coming together to destroy the said Hanuman Baba. While they're working towards destroying Lord Hanuman Baba, Hanumanji looks at them and he lifts his gada in the air. And when he looks at the 9 of them, he says, you know what? I think I need a little help here. When a child is in need of help, what does the child do? Who does the child call? Oh ma, oh ma, oh ma, oh ma. When a child is in need of help, who does the child call? Ma. Hanuman Baba puts his hands together. He says, 9 against 1. I can destroy them, but they are Navgraha Devatas and they are powerful in their own way. Ma, tell me what to do. So he put his hands together and he starts to pray. He prays to his mother and he thinks of Anjani Mata. But Anjani Mata doesn't come to help him. Inscribed in his mind, he hears the voice of Devi. She's connected to Shankar Bholenath, and in Kailash Parvat, Parvati Mata says, Prabhu Shankar, you are calling me for help. But don't worry, I will help you in any form that you've taken in the world. And Parvati Mata says, I will guide you how to get out of this situation. Hanuman Baba hears a voice speaking to him. And whose voice is it? It is the voice of Adi Shakti. What does the voice say? She says, Hanumanji, you have a gada and a mukdar. But you know what would help? If you get rid of them one by one by one, the team becomes lesser and lesser. You could fight them even more powerful. So find something that could hold them. Find probably a container or find something, anything around there that you could actually contain them one by one so it becomes less and then you can get rid of them. So he looks and he says, but Maya, I can't see anything. But you know what? It is a tunnel. And I'm seeing a vine growing, has started from the forest and is going to the other end. What kind of vine it is? A pumpkin vine. It's a pumpkin vine. She says to him, find the biggest pumpkin you could find. So he looks around and he sees a big one. And he grabs the big one. And she says, now take your nail and cut open a hole. You're going to unfold them inside there. He says, yes, ma, I like this plan. So he takes the pumpkin and he's about to cut open that hole. But she says, wait, before you create that hole, I want you to create a triangular hole. Why? Because my beads yantra, it's a triangular shape. To those who know of the Durga Mata pictures, the older pictures used to always have a little triangle. There used to always be a little triangle. For example, you will see one of the yantra marked on this picture for Mother Lakshmi. It's a square with numbers in it. Whereas the yantra for Sri Durga Mata, you always see something like a triangle and there are numbers inside. It is the yantra to worship Adi Shakti. She says, cut open that hole as a triangle and chant my name. So he's about to open this pumpkin and he's chanting, Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadra Kali Kapanini Durga Kshama Shivaratri Swaha Swadhanamostute. Aaj Shakti Durga Mata ki Om Jayante Mangala Kali Bhadra Kali Kapalani Durga Kshama Shivaratri Swaha Swadhanamostute. Jai Ambe, Jai Durga Ma. Om Jayante Mangala Kali Bhadra Kali Kapalani Durga Shama Shiva Datre Swaha Swada Namostute. Om Jayante Mangala Kali Bhadra Kali Kapalani. Om Jayante Mangala Kali Bhadra Kali Kapalani. Durga Shama Shiva Datre Swaha Swada Namostute. Jai Ambe Ma. All together. Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadra Kali Kapalani. Durga Kama Shiva Datre Swaha Sada Namostute. Swaha Sada Namostute. Swaha Sada. Durga Mata Ki Jai. Lord Hanumanji, my dear friends, he decides to now cut open that triangular hole, and he picks up his gada and he rushes towards them, and one by one with a blow he will hit them. And while he's hitting them one by one, he will hold them tight. He will walk up to the pumpkin and he will put them inside. And one by one, while he will put them, now the Navagrahas are becoming less and less, from 9 and 8 and 7 and 6, and they're becoming less and less. And when he finishes putting all of them there, he covers it back, and by the instructions of the mother, take them to the middle of the ocean and drown them, and they will learn a lesson, Hanuman Baba. They will never come around you again. And as has been mentioned, Hanumanji, he captures them. He lifts them in his hand. He takes that pumpkin. He covers it tight. And he runs out of the tunnel. And he goes directly to the ocean. And there he makes a leap. And in mid-air, he throws them down into the ocean. And the pumpkin falls into the water. And it is seeping in now. The water is seeping in through the triangular hole. And while the water is seeping in, they are begging, please, please forgive us. Please, we are sorry. Please forgive us. And Hanumanji says, no. You were ungrateful when you had a chance to walk away. You were ungrateful. He says, today you will learn your lesson. And he looked at them while they are about to die and suffocate in that pumpkin is about to sink into the waters. And while it's about to sink, then Shanidev, he looks up and he says, Pawan Putra. And he put his hands together. You are a devotee, and your Lord has taught you that no matter what the situation, when a person, a devotee, a bhakta, whoever it may be, when they put their hands together and they show humility out of respect and they say sorry or they ask for forgiveness, then you must forgive. And Hanuman Baba looks at them and he says, I will think about it, but the water is seeping in. And the 9 planets came up with a plan. What is the plan? They say, Hanumanji, we promise you today. Today we promise you, if you save us, if at any point in the world and in time, anybody is going through any one of the grahas, planetary, illness, sickness, poverty, something has gone wrong in their life and they don't know how to fix it. If anybody, they're going through problems in the world and it is due to the planetary effects, and they do what you did to us today, and they say, Hanuman, Jai Bhagwan, we are gone. We will never wait to even see you because from today we are scared of you. Hanuman Baba looked at them and he says, now that sounds like a good plan. So he went down and he took them out and he saved them that day. It is said, if you're going through any one of the worst grahas and you do what Hanuman Baba did, you get that pumpkin and you cut that triangle chanting mantras and you put the grahas. So to those who've done the graha puja, what do you put to have the grahas there? We have 9 greens, 9 metals, 9 fruits, 9 waters, 9 flags, and you put it there and you seal it and you chant that mantra putting a tulsi leaf on a red flower and you say, Om Shri Hanumate Namaha. Jai Bhagwan, them grass shooting out like that. Them grass gone. Have faith in your prayer. Have faith in your Lord. Have faith in Lord Hanumanji. That day, he was given a promise. And he left and he decided to continue his journey. He has gone now back into the tunnel and he's about to reach out on the other side. And when he reaches out on the other side, he sees hundreds of Brahmanas. They're performing puja. They're doing Havan puja with Ravana. He's seeing Ravana sitting there and he's making the offerings into the fire. And he's chanting his mantras. All the sadhus and all the swamis who are there, they're chanting their mantras in a rhythm. It is said when you gather together and you chant in a rhythm, when you build your voice together and you sing in a rhythm, with that energy, you create an aura, you create a vibration, you create a spark of protection that no negative force will be able to touch you. Sing from the heart, my friends, and then everything will work out in your favor. Hanumanji sees everything that is taking place, and he knows what he was sent for, to destroy or to break up this yajna. Devi Mata says to Lord Shiva, I hope your incarnation knows what to do, because I can tell you, if Ravana completes this yajna, I will have to bless him and he will win this war. To those who acknowledge well, to those who know, when the war was taking place and the Havan Puja was being done, Ravana was worshipping Devi Mata. The war was taking place. Have you ever understood why, coming down to the end of the year, when Diwali time is about to come, or Navratri rather, when Navratri is about to come in Trinidad, we also practice what? We practice what in that time? Ramlila. Ramlila is always taking place when the Navratam or the second Navratam is taking place. And when we celebrate on the last day the victory of Vijayadashami, it is the victory of the Divine Lord, Prabhu Ramachandra and Ravana. And on that day, that is where we know we light up the big Ravana and so on. We wait for that day to do it. Why? Because it was taking place. This war was taking place in the Navratri period. Friends and bhaktas, while Ravana was being given the opportunity to do yajna and make offerings into the fire, it was the most auspicious time. If he completed, he could have won the war. But Hanuman Baba is about to come up with a plan. He sees all the sadhus there and he changes his form now and he starts to walk amongst the sadhus. And what will he do? Well, tomorrow night, we will continue with that message. Shiv Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki, Pavana Sutta Hanuman ki Jai. Tomorrow night, Lord Hanumanji will break up the yajna. But in what way? Very importantly, tomorrow we will find out. Shri Rama Jai Rama Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Rama Jai Rama Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Umapati Mahadeva ki Jai. Let us all stand as we now join in our beautiful arati. आरती की जय हनुमान लला की, दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ कला की। आरती की जय हनुमान लला की, दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ कला की। आरती की जय हनुमान लला की, दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ कला हो। जाके बल से गिरिवर काटे, रोग दोष जाके निकट न जाके। जाके बल से गिरिवर काटे, रोग दोष जाके निकट न जाके। अंजनी 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 पुत्र महाबलदाई, संतन के प्रभु सदा सहाई। देवीरा रघुनाथ पताए, लंका जा रे सिया सुधि लाए। जय श्री राम। देवीरा रघुनाथ पताए, लंका जा रे सिया सुधि लाए। देवीरा रघुनाथ पताए, लंका जा रे सिया सुधि लाए। लंका से होत समुद्र से गाए, जात पवन चित बार न लाए। जय बजरंगबली। लक्ष्मण मूरत परे सकारे, आई संजीवन प्राण उबारे। लक्ष्मण मूरत परे सकारे, आई संजीवन प्राण उबारे। बैठी हो पतार, तोरी जमकारी, रावण के भुजा उतारे। सुनर मुनि आरती उतारे, जय 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 हनुमान उतारे। सुनर मुनि आरती उतारे, जय 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 हनुमान उचारे। कंचन 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 करक पुरलाचारी, आरती करत अंजना माई। जय 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 हनुमान, 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 जय जय हनुमान, जय 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 हनुमान। हनुमान 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 ओम नमो हनुमते नमः, ओम नमो हनुमते नमः, ओम नमो हनुमते नमः, ओम नमो हनुमते नमः। जय बजरंगबली। ओम नमो हनुमते नमः, ओम नमो हनुमते नमः, ओम नमो हनुमते नमः, ओम नमो हनुमते नमः। जय श्री राम। ओम नमो हनुमते नमः, 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 ओम नमो हनुमते नमः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव. As we conclude our night in devotion tonight, let me take this wonderful opportunity to say a special prayer to the host of this home, Avinash. We know that you're not here with us tonight, but we are sending our love, we are sending our blessings, and we are sending the blessings of Lord Hanumanji to you, so that you can recover soon and you can be back soon. While we will pray to Lord Hanumanji, may the Lord continue to guide you. Shri Rama Jai Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Rama Jai Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. प्रेम सुषमापति महादेव की जय. वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. पवन सुत हनुमान की, बजरंग बली की जय. जय सीताराम. आसन लीजिए. Let us all take our seats. As we conclude our beautiful night of devotion, at this time, we extend the blessings of Lord Hanumanji to each and every one. And tomorrow night, we will continue once more with our devotion. So remember to tune in so that you can receive once more the blessings of Shri Hanumanji. Pavana Sutta Hanuman ki jai.
Sankhya Television is not only the first Hindu TV station in Trinidad and Tobago, but Sankhya TV also has the most coverage. You can find Sankhya Television on YouTube by searching for Sankhya Television. On the Sankhya Television's YouTube channel, you can find all previously recorded yagnas and all Sankhya TV exclusive programming. Don't forget to click subscribe so you can be notified of all new uploads. Sankhya Television aims at providing you with your number one choice for cultural, inspirational, and spiritual programming. Sankhya Television is not only the first Hindu TV